Hello, everyone, and welcome to Keeping Score with Dylan and Jack, a podcast show dedicated to bringing analysis of Rutgers sports and sports around the country. I'm Dylan.
And I'm Jack.
And today we're joined by former head sports editor of the Daily Targum and our close friend, Laney Ortiz. Laney, how are you doing today?
I'm doing great, guys. Thanks for having me. Thank you for the clap.
Absolutely.
Nice.
And in this episode, we'll talk about the recent struggles of Rutgers men's basketball. We'll go through the World Cup as the final approaches this Sunday, and we'll also talk about the always heating up MLB free agency period. But first, obviously, we're a Rutgers show. We got to talk about Rutgers basketball.
Classic Dylan line right there.
We're
a Rutgers show, and we have to talk about Rutgers.
So, played our arch rival Seton Hall in the Garden State Hardwood Classic a few days ago. And Jack is going to bring this up many times during the podcast, but the score was 45-43, and Rutgers did not win. They put up 43 points and lost to Seton Hall. Now, I'm a big Shaheen Holloway fan. You know, I think he's going to do a great job up there in East Orange, but, you know, I can't believe that Rutgers lost that game. It was probably the farthest I think Rutgers had been ahead of a Seton Hall team since maybe 2019 when we weren't even really supposed to win that game like that. And, you know, it was a guy who had never coached at Jersey Mike's Arena before, a team that mainly had never played at Jersey Mike's Arena before, and they just did enough, and we didn't do enough. So, Jack, I'll turn to you, but, you know, what is happening? You know?
Well, tough one for sure. I mean, 43 points is 43 points. Like, I know there was some discussion about
football teams put up more points than that.
Yeah. So I know there's some discussion about Casey and Defo stepping out of bounds at the end of the game. Like, after Caleb McConnell missed a game. No, Paul Mulcahy missed the game-tying shot, and then Andre Hyatt missed the game-tying layup
Wide open.
Again.
Wide open.
So my point is, like, yeah, he stepped out of bounds. The film says it, but 43 points, like, no, like I'm not hearing it this time. Like, 43 points, I'm not going to give you the benefit of the doubt there. And I think this game is kind of just hangover from the Ohio State loss. I mean, the team kind of said it. The reporters kind of sensed it as well. I mean, that loss on Thursday was absolutely brutal. That's one that I'm still mad about right now. But you know, you could say all you want. We got to flip the page. Like, you know, that happened. We got to move forward to the next game. But it was clear that they were still dealing with that game and the effects of it. And when they came in for, you know, the game on Sunday, I don't think they were fully locked into the game as they could have been if the Ohio State game went differently. So, you know, now we have a week to kind of clear our heads. It's Wednesday now. You know, they haven't played since Sunday. They got Wake Forest on Saturday, a game that they have to win, in my opinion, if they want to keep on track for the NCAA tournament. And, you know, if we win that Wake Forest game, we're back on track. We can, you know, get our head right as well with these games around Christmas with Bucknell and Coppin State, and then roll into Big Ten play on a good note. But, yeah, I mean, if you're asking me the reason why we played as bad as we did in that game, I think it's hangover from Ohio State. But I also will say, you know, the offense has to start playing a bit better because, you know, how many points we scored? We scored 66 points against Ohio State, and then the Temple game we didn't score over 70. The Miami game we scored 61. So, like, we need to start scoring more than, you know, 60-some-odd points to, you know, compete in the Big Ten.
Yeah, absolutely. And, I mean, you know, in a game where you have more turnovers than field goals, like, it's obviously going to be hard to get the W.
17 points in the second half. I have it up right now.
That's it?
17.
That's not good.
There's 20 minutes in the half, and they scored 17
We
points.
went to the break up like 6 or 8, too. So it's a second. We didn't really blow the lead against Ohio State. We came back in that game. But
I don't think we scored a field goal for the last, like, 3-4 minutes, I think. I was looking at it after the game, and I think it was, like, 3 minutes or so. Caleb McConnell had to lay up.
I didn't watch the Ohio State game.
Probably for your benefit.
Yeah, no, it definitely was for my benefit. I saw the end score, and I went to work the next day. My boss was just ranting about it in the office. He was not happy about it.
Dylan and I were at a very fine New Brunswick establishment watching that game, and, you know, a lot of people were not.
Yeah, with
a lot of people.
Geo Baker and the Knight Society.
Geo Baker was there, and yeah, not a lot of people were happy about that game. So.
It went silent.
Yes.
Like, actually silent. You know,
hands on my head.
Ultimately, you said it best. It just kind of makes the rest of the schedule tougher. Like, you have road games against an improved Northwestern, an improved Michigan State, Iowa late in the season, Minnesota. And, you know, a couple of those games where Rutgers, you know, maybe could have afforded to lose if they won these two, they're going to have to win probably like 3 or 4 road games in the Big Ten, which, you know, it is never an easy feat, especially with a team that seems to be so Dr. Jekyll and Mr. Hyde when they play like at Jersey Mike's Arena and on the road. So, it makes it tougher, but I said this was the most talented team they've had since 2019, and I still do believe that. So ultimately, I think they have the capability of still achieving what they want to achieve. So I still think they're a tournament team. I think maybe if they lose, if they go into January and lose their first 2 or 3 Big Ten games, then I think it's time to really sound the horn.
See, I don't know about the most talented team since 2019 just because of the lack of offensive firepower with no Gio and Ron. They kind of do it by committee.
They're deep.
Paul Mulcahy's got to create almost every shot that they take.
I feel like they're a little deeper though at certain positions they weren't in maybe last year.
Simpson has been good so far, very good for a freshman, but he's still a freshman, a true freshman going up against guys who are 23, 24 years old in some cases. And Antoine Woolfolk, same thing. He's looked good so far, but he's also a freshman. So that's my cause for pause there. It's just we're very good defensively. And I feel like that we talked about this before the season. The defense was going to be there. Was the offense going to follow suit? And in the first couple games against high major opponents, it looked like that, the offense was going to be good enough to get it done. Maybe mixed in. I don't know how to fix this, but
you gotta set your wait time to longer before it cuts out.
Whatever, but yeah, the offense looked pretty good through the first couple high major games. Not stellar, but looked serviceable. But if you're gonna have a 43-point game, that kind of gives me a cause for pause. I really know how to interpret that. No one scored in double digits. This team. Andre Hyatt was the leading scorer with 9 points. So you can't have that. You just can't have that in a Division I college basketball game. So, one thing I like about college basketball is that it's a long season. It's not college football where one loss can make or break your entire season, which I've had my own gripes against college football. But college basketball is a long season. We can have this stretch right here. We can, recalibrate this week, get back on the right foot come Wake Forest, and then heading into the new year. So, it's all not dead, obviously. I think this is still a tournament team that, could really, really get there. So, we'll see.
Absolutely. Wake Forest.
I have no faith. So.
I will say real quick, though, Cam Spencer is kind of concerning me with how he's playing so far.
I agree.
Because
he had a good game against Ohio State, though. He did have a good performance.
He did.
But in the other, high major games they played, Temple, Miami, Indiana, he hasn't had, super standout performances like a guy who won his league's player of the year last year. Obviously it's a smaller league. Patriot League is a smaller league, but I feel like in basketball maybe talent kind of transcends more than in other sports because it's more of a one-on-one type game, especially with the way the game is now.
Yeah.
And you think a guy who dominated his league, obviously playing better competition, but still would perform up to said caliber or maybe a little bit less, but he's struggled. I think he really has to get adjusted to playing at a high Division I Big Ten level. I
think people got to recognize Cam Spencer's role too. We saw the Cam Spencer against the low majors, the Sacred Hearts, the CCSUs of the world, and we saw him play really well. We saw him take the ball off the dribble, kind of be a playmaker against high major opponents like Seton Hall and the rest of the Big Ten. That's not really going to be Cam Spencer's role. Cam Spencer's role is going to be, taking 3 to 4 threes a game, being able to steal the ball, playing within a system, being able to be the guy that you can say, okay, he can shoot the ball and you have to respect him, space out the offense that way. That's Cam Spencer's role, and he didn't really fit that role on Sunday. 2 for 7 from the field, 0 for 4 from 3. In Cam Spencer's role, I need 2 for 4 from 3, maybe even 3 for 4 from 3. That's his role. He needs to be able to make those shots and he needs to be timely. And, the jury's out if he's able to do that on a consistent basis against high major teams. So, we'll see. And last thing I'll say, Cliff Amore, 1 for 6 from the field as a big man. Can't happen. I'm looking at the stats right now. 1 for 6 from the field. You can't 1 for 6. Big men are supposed to have the highest field goal percentages on the team because obviously they play in the paint and you're dunking the ball, you're making layups and all that stuff. 1 for 6 from the field is not going to cut it. And Casey and Defo did really well on him. He played really well.
Him and Tyrese Samuel gave him a very difficult time out there.
They kind of exposed his inability to do stuff in the post, and long season, but difficult last week for Rutgers basketball, and I trust Steve Peichel. He'll be fun.
Absolutely. Long season continues on Saturday. They play Wake Forest at Jersey Mike's Arena at noon, and obviously we'll see where they go from there. We're going to move on. Our next topic is the biggest sporting event in the world, besides America, I would say, the World Cup. Once we got knocked out, I think the ratings dropped. Like
the cool people in America still care about that.
That is true.
Soccer is so fun.
It is fun. At the highest level, it's a fun sport.
It's awesome.
I did a project recently, and I was doing some research on the World Cup. The World Cup final in 2018 attracted 1.12 billion viewers.
Yeah.
And the Super Bowl was like 100 million on a good year.
Yeah. The Super Bowl was 100 million, like 95 million in America, and then like 5 million like everywhere else.
It's like the world's. It's like the world sport.
It's the world sport and the biggest event in the world sport.
Yeah.
So.
Of course, so it's bigger than the Olympics, I would say.
Yeah,
I would agree.
I agree.
I would agree because it's a sport like.
Look at the numbers.
That I think that more people. It's one sport that more people like people care about like individual like events at the Olympics, but it's hard to like watch every Olympic event. Like,
yeah.
I will say though, like we'll talk about Argentina pretty soon, I bet, but it's really cool to see like their fans like really get behind this team. Like all those videos and stuff. Like
I feel Argentinian. I'm not, but I feel Argentinian.
Well, we have the two semifinals just ended. Argentina got the win yesterday over Croatia, and then France scored in, I believe, the 5th or 6th minute today. Took a 2-0 win over Morocco. So Argentina-France, a final that I think a lot of people could have predicted.
A lot of storylines.
Obviously,
so fun.
On the Argentinian side, Lionel Messi going for his first World Cup, trying to put the GOAT debate, I guess, to bed if he has that over Ronaldo. I think for me that would put it to bed. He has won continental championship. He has a Copa America. He's got Ronaldo has 1 Euro. And then on the French side, obviously you have France going for their second World Cup in a row, which hasn't been done since I think like the 80s or the 70s. Kylian Mbappe trying to win his second World Cup as a 24-year-old, which is absolutely unbelievable.
I was thinking about that today.
What have I done? What have I done in my life?
I turned 23 in 3 days, and I've done significantly less for myself than Kylian Mbappe has.
Happy early birthday, Dylan. Let's do it right now. Happy early birthday.
It's my last podcast as an undergrad, so it's
hits home.
It's an interesting time, but. Laney, I know you've been following the World Cup a lot.
Yeah, a little bit. I mean, I just feel like I don't understand why so many Americans hate soccer.
It's because we're not good at it.
But I just
hate it. But
well, not that we're not good at it. We're mid at it.
Our women's team has been so good, but I feel like every single child in America plays soccer at some point.
They play soccer for 2 years, and then it's just they play another sport, and soccer just goes away.
Yeah, but it's so fun.
I agree with you, but that's just the way it is in America. You either stay primarily a soccer player or you play the other sports that America has to offer. I feel like in other places, in the UK, if you're playing everyone's playing soccer and it's the main sport you see and you watch. In the US, you play soccer, but you don't watch soccer as much as you watch football or you watch basketball or you watch baseball. So there's just more appeal.
I think the problem with soccer in America was basically on display in the USA-England game. We watched 90 minutes of soccer and got the same result that it would have been if we didn't even have the game. 0-0 tie.
That's a really interesting way to put it.
Such an interesting take.
I feel like that's the biggest problem. A lot of Americans, they're used to sports like basketball and football where it's so action-packed. Football, big hitting collisions, basketball, big dunks, all that stuff. And soccer, you're not really glorifying all that stuff outside the big goals.
I guess.
And big goals are hard to come by sometimes.
I don't know if I agree with you there.
I
really don't.
I feel like the suspense was really built up in that game because, obviously, U.S. lost in the round of 16, but when they played England, that was the biggest game for us. It was Thanksgiving Eve. It was, everyone wanted to see that. I feel like we saw 90 minutes of, heart-stopping action because, the U.S. just kept, inching closer and closer because they dominated that game. There's no other way to put it. They dominated England.
And nobody thought that
they should have won that game.
We were supposed to just flat out lose.
Yeah.
We're always supposed to flat out lose to them.
I know. But
in 2010 we were in the goalkeeper couldn't catch the ball and we tied. This was an earned tie.
Dude, it's a new leaf with at least men's US soccer because they have a young core group of guys that
I'm here in 2026 we can be really good.
Yeah. No doubt.
2026 at MetLife Stadium there'll be games, so
exactly.
I'll be going if the US plays.
On a natural grass field.
I wonder how people from around the world are going to enjoy the New Jersey Turnpike.
Yeah. It's gonna be a nightmare. They're gonna think that they're going to New York.
There's gonna be
and they're just
people
gonna be
like staying in like the hotels around like New Brunswick. Like
They're gonna be like, this is America? Like, what?
this is what we have to offer. Yeah.
various dining in New Brunswick as well. Come to Broward Commons.
There's gonna be a World Cup deal for Broward. That'd be funny.
Yeah,
a lot of storylines.
Big
here
day
this
for the
week.
dining halls. Midnight breakfast in like a couple hours.
Today?
Yeah, it's tonight.
I don't have a meal plan this year.
It's like $15, I think.
It's not worth it.
That's what I said.
I don't like breakfast food.
I don't like dining hall food. Well, most dining hall food, but especially breakfast dining hall food.
I feel like that's the one dining hall food though that you can get away with is breakfast dining
That's
hall
fair.
food.
That's fair. But I guess before we end this, we'll go to our predictions for Sunday's final. Guess I'll go first. I think I would love to see Messi win his first World Cup. Obviously, he's one of my favorite players, but I just think France is too deep. They have too much on offense for the Argentinian defense. Mbappe, if he doesn't score a goal, he'll be part of making a goal happen. Olivier Giroud has been absolutely clinical up front. If they throw a cross into him, he will head it and probably score. And I like Argentina. I think they've had a lot of guys that stepped up, but I don't think they have enough to beat France. So I'll say France 2-1, and I'll say it goes to extra time.
All right. So I really want Messi to come out on top. I think it would be really good for the sport. Like I said, a lot of storylines going on. Messi trying to get his first World Cup and his probably last World Cup from all I hear.
Yeah.
Mbappe going for 2 World Cups in 2 tries. That would be insane by 24, as we said. France trying to go back to back. A lot of storylines here. I think Argentina's going to do it. I think Argentina's. I don't know. I don't know soccer as much as I know other sports, but I don't know. I just feel like this is the time, and this team's gonna rally around Messi. I think, it's just gonna be one of those magical games where Argentina just somehow pulls it off for Messi. And he rides out to the sunset. I'll say 2-1 Argentina. 2-1 Argentina. I'm not gonna go full Nostradamus here. I'm not gonna go full. Have you seen my Nostradamus picks?
No.
Every week during the football season, it would be Rutgers gonna win. They're gonna have an interception. Jude McTavity's gonna hit a field goal with 3 seconds left, and then it was really in depth. I don't think any of them ever happened, unfortunately.
Well,
no, I got pretty close in the Indiana game though. I think
you did say interception.
I was
at the end
20-16 Indiana. It ended up being 24-17 or something like that. It was pretty close. I remember I said I think Rutgers gonna win 28. Wait, no, too many points. So Argentina, I think they win 2-1. I really want to see this go to penalty kicks though. I think Argentina wins a 2-1 in regular time.
That's how it's gonna end.
And I think
it's going to PKs too.
I think Messi gives you 1 goal. He gives you the first goal. Second goal is hit by someone other than Argentina.
Yeah.
Or other on Argentina.
Well,
I heard there's a guy on Argentina that's our age. 21,
yes.
21.
Yeah.
I forgot his name.
He scored twice in the
in the last
So that guy gets the second goal.
Yeah.
Argentina wins the World Cup.
And he looked up to Messi growing up. His story with that is so cool. But no, I agree. They're taking it to PKs, and it's gonna be those two that are gonna close it out, and it's gonna be beautiful and magical. And I'm now an Argentinian, so I'm gonna cry about it probably.
Honorary Argentinian.
Honorary Argentinian.
I guess that makes me French, but
Ugh.
It's a lot of baguettes.
A lot of surrendering and
Croissant.
Whoa! The Keep Score podcast supports the French. Let's.
Welcome to Keep Score, a history podcast dedicated to covering all your rugby.
But we'll move on. We'll go to the last portion of our podcast today. And Laney, one of the reasons we wanted to have you on, obviously, big baseball fan I am as well. And MLB free agency has been going crazy. I mean, not really for the Yankees. They did the most important thing. They re-signed
Arson Judge, baby.
Arson
Judge.
9 more years in pinstripes, which is all I really wanted.
For
now
300 M's.
Money is fake. Baseball money is fake.
Baseball money
something
is
I will take to my grave.
You should be saying that because your baseball money is more than fake. Talk about what the Mets have been doing, Laney.
Never in my life would I have imagined ever that I would have Yankee fans being I think you could take our star player because you have more money. You have an owner who's willing to spend more money.
Yep.
Ever. Genuinely, if you would have said that to me 4 or 5 years ago, I would have been it's not funny. It's not a funny joke. Steve Cohen owe him my life. Really, I do. If he needs a kidney, Steve, I got you. If you need a kidney, if you need any organ, let me know. I will give it to you. It's the prime example of like a fan running a team and like how incredible that is for the team and for the sport in general. Because, we lost DeGrom. Do I really care anymore? No, not really. If he doesn't want to be in New York, I don't want him in New York.
He doesn't pitch half of every season.
Exactly.
So, you're getting, fantastic numbers and stuff, but, you're getting it from, April to July.
But, not even, Jake last year was not Jacob DeGrom.
No.
I will, absolutely go ahead and say that.
I agree.
We were happy with what he gave us in the second wild card game, but, if you really look at, the big picture and, what he's ultimately capable of doing, he did not rise to the occasion. And you could say the same about Scherzer, but it's a whole other thing. But you have, we lost DeGrom, but then he turned right around and you got Verlander, and then
I can't believe that Justin Verlander's a New York Met. I still can't believe that.
You and me both, dude. Uncle Steve does not like when people mess with him. Because the same thing happened with Matt's messed with him, and then he went out, and I'm pretty sure he signed Scherzer, right? It was somebody. He's somebody. He doesn't like it. He gets angry, and he spends a lot of money.
He's got a lot of money though.
So much money.
And then the Mets just signed Kodai Senga, I believe, from Japan, and that was a pretty big pickup. Probably the second biggest pickup from Japan this offseason after I don't know his name, but he signed with the Red Sox. He's led the Japanese league in OPS the past 2 years. He's supposed to be amazing. So obviously that was kind of.
I saw a tweet the other day about how the Red Sox had 3 future Hall of Famers under 26 in 2018, and let them all go basically. Yeah. It was who was it? Mookie Betts,
JD, well, maybe.
Oh, I don't know. Maybe Xander.
I think it was Bogarts because Bogarts left, right?
Yeah, Bogarts Hall of Famer. I don't know.
I think Hall of Famer's a little
Mookie Betts for sure. Yeah, 100%. But ultimately, it's been.
I know you're loving that though. The Red Sox giving up all those players.
Of course I do. Paying Trevor Story $100 million to hit 230. I love it. But the Yankees obviously the biggest thing was to re-sign Judge, and they did. If they let him walk, I probably would have boycotted the team at least a little bit. But he was. How can you let him go after maybe the best offensive season? There's not by a man named Barry Bonds ever.
I don't think it would have been I don't think it would have been them letting him go. I think it would have been him just leaving.
Exactly.
Him not wanting to be there.
I don't imagine Aaron Judge passing up the opportunity to be a New York Yankee for 9 or more years and be the face of the biggest franchise in
no way
baseball.
Especially the way that they've treated him since he got called no. He's been their god since he was born.
Yes, he has.
And to give that all up to go cross country to San Francisco.
Well, he also
for a team that
he's from California.
I know. Well, you play on the West Coast. Look at Mike Trout as an example. No one really knows about Mike Trout, even though he's the best player in baseball.
Which is
he plays in the West Coast. The games start at 10 o'clock at night around here, and the Angels suck. So
they have maybe the most 2 talented players on earth, and they finished 25 games under 500 every season.
That's insane to me.
So depressing.
Shohei and Mike Trout on one team. Imagine if it was basketball and you had the 2 most talented players in the league on one team. You're guaranteed to be.
The Lakers basically did 3 years ago when they had LeBron and Anthony Davis, and they won a title.
I feel like that's what makes baseball, at least to me, so fun, because that's what I don't like about basketball.
Well, is that baseball is anyone can win, but it's not anyone can win because there's 5 teams that realistically can win every year.
Yeah, but
say what you will though, I know a lot of people don't like them, but that's what makes it so impressive about the Astros. To be so good for so long.
I have nothing to say bad about the Astros.
I have everything to say bad about
of course
the
you do.
Astros,
You guys also cheated though.
I
don't understand why a Yankee fan gets so upset about it when you also cheated.
Because we didn't win.
They've been at least the
That's all
ALCS
that matters.
since 2017, right?
I love the.
That's incredible to me. In a sport that has such
this year, I have no problem with their title. They were by far the best team in the American League. Yeah. They were just the best team in baseball. There was nothing to say.
Yeah, obviously they were.
2018, I'll hold that forever. It was a close series. The Yankees went 6 games with them. Obviously, Chapman let up a big home run to lose them the series.
Tiny violin for him. It's so sad.
Yeah, it really doesn't deserve any sorrow.
No, not at all. Yeah, but it's okay.
I'm hoping the Yankees will obviously make some more moves. Carlos Rodon is probably the best pitcher available on the market. I'd love another left-hander to complement Mr. Cortez up in the Bronx. I would say get a shortstop, but I think they're just waiting for Volpe or someone else to come through the minors. I think Volpe's like the 10th best prospect in baseball, so he'll be at Somerset. I'll be there in April when him and Jason Dominguez on the same team. You don't understand. The 2027 Yankees are going to be so fun to watch.
For sure.
Absolutely.
You sound so old right now by saying that.
I feel old.
I hate when people do that. I hate when people are like, we have to protect the prospects because you don't know. Because you don't. I hate that.
No, you don't know.
You don't know if they're going to be good or
idea.
not. It's so stupid. I'd rather win now.
I want to see.
I don't care who we get rid of.
I'm a Yankee fan, and I should have the win now mentality, but I want to see Jason Dominguez in the Yankees uniform more than I want to see like 20 years from now. Like, I'm gonna be like,
you don't know what he's gonna like. You don't know how he's gonna pan out.
I know.
Maybe I'm just like bitter and scorned, and I've been like wronged by so many
decisions made by the Mets.
Yeah, and like so many everything. But like everybody was like, oh, you're gonna regret the Diaz deal because you got rid of Kelenic. Not really, not anymore. I don't even. Like, Kelenic's barely hitting.
Kelenic hit like 180.
Yeah, and Diaz is the most dominant closer in all of baseball. Argue with the wall about it.
Fair.
So, with the best walkouts.
Jack, all you gotta know is watch the Yankees next year and the Mets too. They're both gonna be pretty good.
You should watch the Mets.
I don't know.
Should I go to the Mets?
Absolutely. We have so much more
your
fun
owner
in
seems
Queens.
pretty fun.
We have so much more fun in Queens, and it's really good character building as well.
Okay.
Because you lose.
Yeah,
Really
but like
character.
we lose together.
I already have enough character building watching Rutgers men's basketball every night, so.
And that's all for today. Join us next time. I'll keep you score for more sports recaps, and make sure to follow the Daily Targum on our Twitter, Instagram, Facebook, and YouTube for more content.